Did you snag your tickets yet for Launchpreneur Academy Live? If not, the final day to grab yours is November 7th at midnight. After that, no more tickets. No buying ticks at the door or last-minute DMs asking Brian to do you a favor. The event, as you know, is Saturday, November 12th in Novi, Michigan. Your job is to pause the podcast right now. Head on over to launchpreneuracademy.com and secure your seats. Again, no more ticket sales after November 7th. Now, on with the show.
You're now listening to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. Straightforward, no-nonsense business advice. Completely unfiltered. Grow your business. Grow your life. Now, here's your host, Brian Fullerton.
Come along with us across the country on our first ever Winter Shop Tour series with your host, Brian Fullerton. We're going to take a look at some of the best in the snow and ice management business and get a behind-the-scenes look at their snow equipment, field operations, shop tours, and so much more. We are proud to partner with Byers Products, Billy Goat Industries, and Western Plows to bring you these incredible tours and interviews. You're also invited to watch the corresponding shop tours on the Brian's Lawn Maintenance YouTube channel. Get ready to learn the latest and the greatest on how to run a profitable snow and ice management business from these industry leaders. And now, here's your host, Brian Fullerton.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. It is your host, Brian Fullerton, here, hanging with you guys, and good morning. Well, guys, we're going to kick it over here in just a quick second to the second shop tour that we have for the Fall and Winter Shop Tour series that is brought to you guys by Byers, Billy Goat, and Western Snowplows. Super excited about having those guys partnered up with us to bring you guys this great content, including the correlating YouTube shop tour video that you guys can watch on the Brian's Lawn Maintenance YouTube channel. I actually got to sit down with one of my friends, I would consider now a coach and a mentor of mine, Troy Clogg. A lot of you guys know and love Troy. By the way, real time, if you guys are listening to the podcast, it is your last day to buy your Launchpreneur Academy Live ticket for the low price of $249. By the way, Troy Clogg is going to be one of our speakers, and he is going to be talking to you guys about how to grow a more successful company, how to grow your team members, how to work with people in your company. He's going to talk about the dream. He's going to talk about your why. We were just kind of spitballing some different ideas before we hit record on this podcast. He's got a lot to share. And it's going to be some rare air. I don't think I've really seen Troy do a speech or a presentation in person. So I'm looking forward to it myself. Lastly, to get your tickets on sale to come see Troy, including the rest of the speaker lineup, of course, Nick Carlson, James Mansky, Mike Andes, Paver Pete, Postcard Mania, Cycle CPA, my younger brother there with Branded Bull for our websites. He'll be sharing. Who else? Gosh, so many more people. We cannot wait to have you guys in this November 12th, Saturday. Last day to get your ticket before midnight. I would encourage you to hit pause if you want to come. Hit the launchpreneuracademy.com/store. Get your ticket today because they will end at midnight. Don't text me, please. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Hey, man, can I get a ticket? They are sold out. We got a head count due. We got the food order due. We've got final numbers for room setup due. That all is going to be turned in Monday night, actually Tuesday morning, as you can imagine. So that being said, super excited about hanging out with Troy Clogg. This is how it works with Troy, by the way. Quick little nugget. We hang out for about 45 minutes to an hour. Troy and I talking shop, talking business. And dude, when he's talking, you're learning. And then he goes, all right, so what do you want to talk about on the podcast? And I'm like, oh my God, dude, the last hour we just talked through. And so knowing that, I said, Troy, before you and I talk for an hour and then we go, hey, what do you want to talk about? I said, let's just hit record and rock and roll into it. We actually did kind of spitball for about 15 minutes before he was talking to me about some stuff that he couldn't share on the podcast because we were talking about specific clients and people come, people go. And it was wild. I mean, the stuff, I don't want to call them problems, but the opportunities or the difficulties that they have at this level, right? It's different. And so he's talking numbers that would blow my mind, blow your guys' mind. And I'm like, yeah, I'm trying to lock down this $5,000 or $20,000 snow account. And he's sharing some stories about 7-figure deals and all this other stuff. And I'm just like, that is impressive. It's insane. So it was cool just to kind of warm up the water, if you will, before we jumped on in to hear the rest of this 45-minute to an hour conversation that I have here with Troy. But long story short, I super appreciate Troy's time, super appreciate his whole team there. Everybody's super cool, super kind. And he is the second interview on the 6-series video series and podcast series that we're dropping every Monday for a winter and shop tour series and setup. So that being said, if you guys want to learn about snow plowing, you guys want to learn about growing a bigger team, you guys want to learn about salt, that's the idea with the fall shop tour series here. So you guys can learn how to grow a more successful business. And most of that's relating to lawn and snow, but more specifically snow, I should say, as we go into the fall winter season here. So that being said, I want to say a big shout out again to Billy Goat, Byers, and Western. Super appreciate those guys for bringing you guys this content. Travel time, flights, hotel. I'm actually leaving for Bismarck, North Dakota. Tonight, the day you guys are listening to this episode. So doing another shop tour series over that way with Glacier. So many great things to come down the pike. So guys, thank you so much for the love. Thank you so much for the support. If you guys watched the video tonight, maybe shoot a quick thumbs up and a comment just to show these brands that you guys really appreciate them investing into you and the community to bring you guys this kind of content and help you guys grow. So that being said, we're going to kick it over to the podcast interview over here in Milford/Wixom, Michigan at Troy Clogg's HQ. And right after that, make sure you guys watch the YouTube video tonight at 3 o'clock because we go to his new salt facility, Great Deal Products. I think it was like, I don't know, 20 or 30,000 square foot warehouse, indoor salt bin, nothing like it in the continental U.S. Okay, literally making power moves. This is crazy, crazy stuff. All right. That being said, listen to this great conversation that I had with Troy, and we look forward to catching up with you guys here soon.
When your fall leaf cleanups are stacking up like the leaves and time is of the essence, there is no better solution than to slay through the leaf cleanups at warp speed with Billy Goat's flagship leaf loader, the all-new DL3700 VETR Leaf Dragon, and the Z3000 zero-turn Hurricane stand-on blower. The combination of these two all-powerful leaf-decimating machines will burn through large-scale leaf cleanups fast, helping to save valuable time and money during the season. The Leaf Dragon features 6,900 CFM of high-volume leaf suction, while the Hurricane Blower has 7,500 CFM of air volume and travels at a ground speed of 9 miles per hour. This pairing is the perfect setup for high-volume leaf cleanup that will exceed your expectations in productivity and result in a more profitable season than ever before experienced. Visit your local Billy Goat dealer or learn more at billygoat.com.
Without further ado, we've got the man Troy Clogg, the man of the hour. So this is how it works really quick. We're just going to jump into it, coming in hot. It's how it works here when you're friends. We talk for 30 minutes and then we hit the record button. But Troy's like, you can't share these stories on the podcast. I said,
well, not all of them.
Not all of them, but these are some really good stories. And I get frustrated when things don't go my way, Troy. I'm not a control freak. I've tried to chill out the last decade. But there's a lot of things I try to control. And then you're telling me stories that are like multiples. And
same stories, different commas and zeros.
Yeah, I know, but still,
the feelings are the same. The math is the same. The results are the same.
Yeah.
So
it's crazy.
Which one do you want to talk about?
Man, I'm telling you what. Well, we're doing the shop tour, fall and winter shop tour series. So we're talking snow, we're talking shops, we're talking salt, we're talking all those things related to the topic. You're my go-to. You're the goat. You're like the biggest fish that I got access to. And for some reason, you still keep taking my calls and my text messages.
Always.
I owe you something. Or like
always. Stop by for the chili cook-off tomorrow.
I saw that. The young lady up front was telling me you're going to come back tomorrow at 4 o'clock.
Yeah, 4 to 8-ish tomorrow. Diaz group is coming in from Chicago, so they should also be a great group you want to meet. Is that talk to? Same industry, same stuff.
Okay.
They're coming in with a couple friends of theirs to do shop tours, all the stuff, and hang out for some chili.
What's the Diaz group?
Diaz group.
Diaz. Okay,
yep.
Cool.
Oh, yeah.
They're a big outfit out that way?
Yep. Raphael and Diana.
All right.
Yeah, you're gonna
shout out to them. I'm coming.
I
I told Liz, I said, I was texting her before you got here for a second. I said, hey, we're not doing anything tomorrow, right? And she goes, no, like after this, like next Thursday, Friday, it's crazy. Monday, I'm out of town in North Dakota. Tuesday, Wednesday, we're getting ready for LAL. And then, as you know, Friday, Saturday, it's the go-karts and then the whole event. So it's You getting ready?
I'm ready.
You ready for your speech, your big epic?
I have no idea yet. We'll talk about that once we're off the podcast, and I'll put something together you're going to love.
I always tell Troy, if you're talking, we're learning. Like, before we hit record on the podcast, I said, can we just get all this too? And you're like, not this story, not this story, not this story. And then you started talking about more stuff. I'm like, hey, is this still the same story? And you're like, all right, we'll hit record. But you were just talking about, man, we're talking about snow and salt. A lot of guys that are listening into the podcast, this is the transition this time of year, right? It's the mad dash from mowing to leaves to snow to getting your snow contracts in, your leaf work done. It's a lot of work all at once, and it's overwhelming.
It's a ton of work.
Yeah,
and especially
it's like the second spring rush, I called it.
Yeah. Right, and all the unpredictable weather, the staffing issues that can come along with this time of year more than others, the shorter days because of the daylight, all of it.
Holidays start kicking in.
Way more complicated. So what we were talking about, though, was no matter what, making money.
Yes.
Because if you can't make money at this, whatever you're doing, there's really no purpose in doing it, right? And so we were discussing it's important at any size business to really understand your numbers and to really understand what we should be charging to cover all the incredible equipment costs that are far more than they ever were when I started in the business, the supply costs, the labor costs, all of it. Yeah. Everything is astronomical. Tons of overtime, right? People working way more than 40 hours a week when you're in this rush. All those costs need to be passed on and margins appropriately to stay in business. So we're all here to do it again next year.
Do you think that that's like your biggest? So we're just real life. We're real time guys. We're at Troy's HQ, Wixom, Michigan, Milford, Michigan. We're in a beautiful in a shop. And office space with this huge marble table, like this granite table. It's man, all your stuff.
And that screen there was all the personality types of everybody.
I saw that. I saw it for a quick minute.
So when it comes back by again, it's important to know everybody's personality type. We've talked about this in other conversations. Yes. I don't know if we did it on a podcast.
You guys talked about it at
but that's another good topic.
You talked about it at your subcontractor meeting. They brought it up a little bit. Well, I was just saying this granite table that we're sitting at. I don't know how big is this table? 8 by 10.
Sure.
Let's go with that. 8 by 12
ish.
And a big granite slab. There's 10 chairs around here in the office. And I said, Troy, I feel like sometimes we're making headway, and other times I feel like a pinprick on the top of this granite countertop. Like it's me versus the world. And you guys listening in, like you're part of that pinprick, to be honest. Like there's 150,000 landscapers and contractors in the country, right? And I have 180,000 subs on YouTube, but like, probably these days, maybe a third of that is actual guys. The other is like kids and homeowners and DIYers and whoever, right? But like, it still feels like us against the world sometimes, trying to help all the other guys in the industry elevate their pricing, their knowledge, their professionalism, right? Amen. So when you say like make money at this, like what does that mean to you? Like, because you and I both agree, so many people give this away. I gave it away for a decade. I was not charging enough. I was not making money. I had no idea what to charge. I had no idea what I was worth, right? All those kind of deals. Yeah. So you and I were talking, like, for some people listening in or other people in the industry, like, there's just so many guys that are, I don't want to say messing it up, but they
just don't know yet, right?
Right.
Or they were taught differently. Or they just went through the same thing you went through or I went through early on.
Yeah, I have so much empathy.
It's really, we're all the same. Yeah. It's just a matter of learning. How fast do we learn?
Yeah.
That we're probably not charging enough, or we don't know, we didn't buy the right equipment, or whatever it was. So it's really more of a learning curve. And what I did mention is, as a person of my age, it's amazing how much knowledge is available out there. Your channel, so many others. Just Google whatever you want to Google,
right? And
the answer lies out there somewhere. So why that knowledge isn't used, right? I mean, I had to go to a library, you look up an old book, or you had to go find somebody and talk to them. It was harder to get the knowledge. Right. But at the end of the day, when it comes to making money, math is math. And if people get in business that's not their greatest skill set.
Sure.
They should find somebody to help them immediately.
Okay.
Or very early on. If you're buying a $80,000 truck, I like to simplify things. We still do it here. What does it cost per hour to use that truck over the course of its life, or per mile? The same with a lawnmower, the same with a weed whip. It doesn't matter.
When did you learn all this, or how did you factor this back in the 80s, 90s? Somebody pull you aside?
No, just very early on. Again, I'm smart, but I'm not that smart. Mm-hmm. What I knew was I had to sell time by the hour, right? So therefore, I should know my costs by the hour.
Your man-hour rate.
Anything. Yeah, to get to a man-hour rate. Mm-hmm. But how much gasoline do I use an hour? Mm. That's been an interesting thing to watch go on in the industry as gasoline went up and everybody kind of picked some random number, it sounded like, to raise their prices to cover gas as opposed to the actual number.
Right.
If you have a P&L statement anywhere, or a credit card, divide how much gas you're using by what you'll find out that it was 2 or 3 or 4 or 5% of your cost.
Right.
Okay, so that's how much it goes up. Mm-hmm.
We were talking about that with...
But anyway, that's so taking everything you can and figuring out what it costs you per hour when it's getting used. So, and that can be used for salespeople over time. That could be used for administrative people. Divide, and then if you're putting in 10,000 hours, whatever the number is a year, you can also divide that into your rent, your insurance, whatever the costs are. Mm-hmm. If you know how many hours, then you know what your insurance costs per hour, what your rent costs per hour, what your truck costs per mile, which you can convert to hours.
Yeah.
And I promise you, it's a much higher number than most people charge per hour.
Yeah.
And it's not very different from company to company because a truck is a truck, fuel is fuel, insurance is insurance, rent is rent. And if you don't have rent because you're working from home, you should be charging for it so you can get ahead and get out there in the world. If you don't, if somebody gave you a loader to use, you should still be charging for the loader. All those things should be charged for, no matter how big your company is, because that's how you're going to grow it. If you're smaller, you don't have those costs yet, then you should still, like I said, I'm repeating myself, but charge for it so that you save up enough money so you can afford rent, you can buy a building or whatever your journey is, or flat out make more money and work from home.
Right. Save some money too.
Yeah, save some money. Whatever you want to do that.
We're not comparing notes here, but this is actually interesting that you bring this all up because I have a tool that I'm releasing at Launchpreneur Academy, a resource for all these guys to utilize. That's going to be talking about exactly all this because a lot of software these days have it baked in, like LMN, if you will, because I know you're LMN guy. Synced Up is another, big outfit.
We're LMN for time.
For time. Okay, yeah.
Everything else is proprietary stuff behind the scenes.
Oh, okay.
And then QuickBooks on the... So that's our model. We have not jumped to anyone else.
Oh, okay.
That's another podcast, but I have a solution to all this. I just haven't focused on it yet.
Okay. Well, more to come. We'll get we get you on once or twice a year, so we'll keep it going. When you're ready to shift gears, I'll if you need some software people, I got a bunch to listen to the show.
Yeah, we'll talk.
Yeah, Mark Bradley's coming in, and then Weston Zimmerman was synced up. But no, it's one of those things where I built this whole pretty robust resource that I'm gonna debut at Launchpreneur Academy because I've noticed this conversation. I've had this conversation. I didn't know what I didn't know for years, and you know Mike Bedell, and he's by the numbers. He's I don't know if he learned that from you or just osmosis or just maybe his dad or something like that.
Anybody who's in business for more than a few years, sooner or later figures out the numbers somehow, or they wouldn't be in business anymore.
That's fair, and he's made money for a long time, and he's one of those guys that pulled me to the side probably 6 years ago now, and he's like, "What are you doing? What are you charging?" I'm like, I don't know, dude. For sure, I was that guy for sure, and we're dialing it in every day, every minute. I'm really comfortable with my businesses now. Like I feel really confident with it. There's still a couple unknowns where I start going through a P&L. We have Cycle CPA coming to our event to walk us through an actual P&L. They're a bookkeeping firm, and so I'm really excited about that because I think it might be. And I say this with all love and due respect, but it's probably the first time a lot of these guys will have ever seen an actual P&L. And we're going to go through an actual company P&L and say, like, these are numbers to pay attention to. What is this telling us? What is it not telling us?
Are we moving on to the balance sheet, which is even more important?
Balance sheet. I told them balance sheet, income statement, and P&L, but I think we're only going to have time for one. So, unless you want to do an encore.
Maybe. A little cash flow forecast doesn't hurt either.
That's right. That's the core four, right? That they're always talking about. We look at those regularly, Troy.
Okay, good. Trailing 12-month charts. I can.
Not at all.
It's another podcast. But I've got it all, and it's all things I learned. From other people at a young age.
I sweat talking to you, dude. I really do.
No differently than people are learning. Hopefully, from you and I having a conversation, because there's no other point in doing this.
Right. Right.
Other than raising up the industry, helping people learn faster so they become successful sooner, and hopefully don't fail.
Well, and then the alternative, I was going on a rant, but I said, like, if you're not going to put in the hours and the due diligence to run a successful company, and again, I say this with love, but you might as well go work for somebody, make 60 grand, have a 9 to 5, have significantly less stress. It's not a bad thing. Like, people are like, oh, I don't want to work for somebody else. I'm like, here, I'll give you for instance, somebody shot me a huge email. They love tractor work. And he's like, I want to buy a tractor. I just can't afford one. I love doing the work though. He said, do you think there's an opportunity for me to reach out to a local company and see if I can work for them as a tractor operator? Yeah. And I said, all the time. I said, if you came to any reputable company where I live and offered to do that for them in-house, not only would you be able to basically write your own paycheck. I said, you could make 50, 80, 100 grand if you wanted, probably. I said, those guys would love to have you, love to have that service.
100%. The point is, not everybody belongs being self-employed. Not everybody understands that ultimately, once you grow past physically doing the work, your passion better be other people, economics, finance, banking, insurance. It's got nothing to do with running a tractor, cutting grass, or plowing snow, or any of this stuff. The second you get past physically doing the work, if your passion is physically doing the work and you're freaking great at it and you love it, most likely you can, to your point, you can make as much or more money working for some reputable company nearby. You can pick up insurance and benefits and a vehicle or a stipend, depending what level you're on. You can pick up the synergy and the growth of being surrounded by people. It's that's why, this company or other companies grow, is because if the culture is right and people want to help you, if part of my business was doing podcasts, Brian would be in charge of the podcast section, and we'd walk down the hall and see Brian and do podcasts. Right. Because that's where he's at.
Yeah.
And he might go cut a little here once in a while, but he'd be down the hall doing podcasts all day long.
Right.
Because that's his skill set. So the same with finance people. I have guys who I was cutting grass with 40 years ago, that mechanic here.
Yep.
Salesperson here, right? Key operations people. Some evolved into finance and then went out on their own way. Everybody should. I meet too many people that are self-employed and afraid, and smaller companies, and afraid to leave self-employment, even though it's almost. Change, right? People don't like change,
right?
But they can make as much or more money with all kinds of other, and probably more because they have teamwork. If they were to work here or somewhere like here.
Yeah. There's a book I read, there's like the 4 categories, right? It's like the I don't know if it's technician, then there's like the investor, you know what I'm talking about, right?
I do.
So climbing that, I don't want to say like skill set chart or org chart, but there's different ways to look at your business, right? And so a lot of people, they're just highly paid technicians with a lot of stress and a lot of overhead.
100%.
And so how did you know to work out of that, just being a small self-employed guy? Like, how did you know to start putting these different levels of organization together?
Well, relatively embarrassing, humbling, but real story, right? So by the time I was in my mid to late 20s, I had about 30 employees. I had the building. I was married. I had young babies at home, all that stuff going like crazy. But I was selling everything. I was operations manager for the most part.
Okay.
And I was destroying my life at the end of the day. Did I make money? Yeah. Did just fine. But I wasn't home when I should be home. All these things that ultimately are who we are by the time our life is over, not just a business owner or a technician or we need to accomplish all of it, or at least I needed to. So ironically, I was introduced, like it was just, I consider it's, God at work again, but somebody knocked on my door and offered a consulting service, and it fit right in what I needed. And I'll leave the numbers unsaid, but I like relative things. Meaning I paid for 2 weeks worth of consulting work, 50% of what I was paying myself for a year.
Okay.
So 6 months of salary came in because I was running around. Even though I knew I needed it, I couldn't slow down but then there'd be nobody selling. There'd be nobody operating
Right.
And I see a lot of people get caught in that. I paid the price. I put in the extra hours, meaning I met with them every night after work. After a 12 or 14-hour day, I still met with them, followed through. So pre-internet, that's how long ago this goes, right? So before the internet, which most people don't remember that, but it was 30-some years ago.
Good
but before the internet,
Yeah.
So 3-ring binder, every cut and paste, which also didn't exist unless you physically cut and pasted it. But yeah, canned programs. So everything from job descriptions, org chart, training modules, right? Met with my team in the office. This is how you do this. This is how I met with anybody they could. But the biggest thing that came to me as the owner, and to this day I teach this or try to share this with anybody I can. There's 3 big pillars when no matter what size your company is. Somebody needs to be good at finance, somebody needs to be good at operations, and somebody needs to be good at sales. Period. Most small business owners, if they really look in the mirror and are asked to pick one that they're really passionate about and they love the most, they'll pick it. So that was my challenge. So Troy, here you are. Which one are you going to be? And then you're going to go hire the next one. So I picked sales. I hired an operations manager. Mr. Jim Anderson was here for 22 years. The company doubled in the very next year in revenue and tripled the bottom line. He took care of ops. I took care of sales. Everybody else went, finally, right? I mean, that's the point. All the people who work for us are like, awesome.
Yeah, right.
Because you're not that good at doing everything.
Right.
Troy.
Defined
or
rules.
whoever, you're not that good.
Yeah.
So we can go to Jim about operations. I'm like, yeah, go to Jim.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And away we went. And then within a year or so, came higher qualified bookkeepers. I still couldn't afford controllers, that level person. But you can find some very talented financial bookkeeper people. So then we could build the reports that we needed or that I kind of wanted or other people taught me I needed.
Right. Well, like remote.
And away we went, right?
Yeah.
And then eventually, I had to put computers in the building.
Yeah. 1991 called.
And spreadsheets and things that people are like, wait, what?
What is this?
Yeah.
Microsoft Excel. I was in diapers, brother. Or maybe 5th grade. I don't know.
I get it.
That's incredible.
I get it.
I've been messing this up. Why didn't you come reach out to me when I was at the trailer park down the road and messing
I
this
was
thing
right there making noise.
Dude, it's so wild. You're a half a mile. Like, folks, you have no idea. Like, the site here is like a half a mile from the trailer park I grew up. And every day my little red wagon, truck and trailer driving by. And I'm just like, hey,
and we used to be in there. We sold product in there. I knew the owners.
Way back.
McDonald. Well, we did work at their offices in Southfield.
Okay.
Blah blah blah. So I knew them. I didn't know you. But,
No. Yeah.
But that's your fault, not mine.
No, 100%. I mean, because when you're poor white trash at 16, like nobody tells you to go meet successful people.
They didn't tell me either.
Yeah.
So, but I met them all by knocking on their door. Can I cut your grass?
Right.
That's where most of my consulting came from in most of my life. I had great parents. I have anything to say, but they only knew what they knew, like all of us.
Right.
Right? And so most of my aha moments or, I should think of it that way stuff, all came from talking to customers in the residential market in their backyards while I was cutting their grass or pulling their weeds or trimming their shrubs, whatever. I'm like, so what do you do? How do you get this? Right. Whatever they had.
And I keep bugging you. I'm like, Troy, how do you get this?
All right. I tell you on every podcast. Here's the deal. No matter what industry we pick, it's like sports. You have to outwork the guy next to you.
Yeah.
Or the gal next to you. If you're willing to run a little faster, practice a little harder, learn a little faster, you win. See, whatever winning means to you. That's how you do it.
And you're great at that. You're the pressure relief valve guy, because I come in here and I go home and I tell Liz, I go, and she's like, are we going to make it? I go, I don't know how to get to where Troy's at. I go, my brain, it's the dissonance, you know what I mean? From where you're at to where you want to go.
So here's the other statement, right? So it was explained, and I wish I could remember the author's name so I could give him credit. But if you picture yourself in the Grand Canyon or somewhere like that, and you're looking at a stone wall of all these different stratospheres of colors of stone and history, right? Each one of us as human beings have an innate ability to think and plan and be successful in some period of time. Some of us are great in the moment. And in what am I doing this week? Some are better in a few month period. some 1 to 3 years, some 3+. The phrase visionary, when you get further out there. Profits when you're talking hundreds of years in the future, right? But it's the innate ability to think and plan, not perfectly because it's too many variables, but well into the future. If you're a business owner and you're not that person, you will likely stay small forever, and it's okay. It's your sweet spot, and you'll be super successful. But you shouldn't be frustrated because of it, or seriously study and learn how to connect 1 year to 2 years to 3 years to 5 years from now till then, and from then backwards, right? You're a father. You get to do all the, if nothing else, use that comparison.
Right.
When the kids are 18, what's your life going to look like? And kind of scroll yourself back a little bit, and then we make steps to go, okay, then the only way I'm going to get there is to gently change my behaviors and get different results from now till then, or not. Maybe I get the same result, do the same exact thing for 18 years.
Right.
It's fine. There's nothing wrong with it.
Right.
Either one's a plan. And deservedly at home, those things should be shared and made with our partners. And at work, same thing. That's why different layers and different positions in corporate America, in contractor America, that's why people fit in different places.
Right.
Not everybody, and when you find yourself in your sweet spot, it minimizes the stress and the worry and all the stuff that people carry around. It's when we push ourselves into the place we really don't succeed in, we add too much stress to our lives. In my history, that's what I've learned. I really wish I could remember the author's name, because it's a beautiful book about that and about getting people in the right place then. Right? Who should be a CEO, who should be laying brick every day, and teaching people how to lay brick when they're not doing it.
Yeah.
And just be amazing at it and charge accordingly for it. There's no right or wrong. It's just who we are.
I dig it.
And everybody lands in those spots.
It's not good to grade by chance, is it, right?
No.
It sounds like a Jim Collins kind of quote.
It's not a good degrade.
No.
Get the right person on the bus.
Yeah, that's it.
Email, all those things, of course. But it's not that book, and it's.
Well, if you find it, let us know.
I will. I'll get there. But
recommended.
That's my Vistage commercial, because wherever I heard the speaker, it was through Vistage, which I recommend for everybody when it comes to learning so much more. That continued education once you reach that point.
What would you have done if you didn't have the consulting guy knock on your door? Like, was he just like a green industry consultant, or was he just a broad consultant?
No, it was a broad consultant. And back then, people literally knocked on your door.
Wow.
Right? You didn't get an email. Didn't exist.
That's crazy.
You might have got a flyer mailed to you.
Right.
Snail mail world. Like, oh, I want to hire these guys. But people did knock on doors and say, hey, like everything from, do you want to buy encyclopedias? Do you want to buy Fuller brushes? Or they would go through the business world and knock on doors.
Some Grant Cardone guy comes walking in.
Amen. And start talking about your pain points, right? Like, are you having trouble with this, that? Are you frustrated with this? Are you like...
That's a whole different world.
It's been around forever.
I know, that's wild.
It's just a different way of getting it in front of people.
Did that help go full circle to family life and help you really shift gears with both things then, I guess?
Yeah, 100%.
A couple things all at once.
100%. And I still promote. I'm telling you, my oldest 33-year-old got married a couple of weeks ago. I promote with everybody in my family, anybody who will listen. If you can lob out like 5-year chunks and just think of it at home. I'm 30 now. How old are my kids if I have them? How old are my parents? Right? How much money do I make, and how do I live, and what are my hobbies? Just kind of those topics.
Yeah.
Then go back 5 years and list what it was like. Kind of reflect on that. Now try to take a 5-year jump. My kids are going to be this. My wife and I are going to be this age. My parents are going to be this age if they're in the picture. My hobbies are going to be this. My life, my home is going to look like this. And keep chunking away as best you can, because sooner or later you go from your age to mine.
Right.
And maybe you want something different between 30-ish and 60-ish. Well, maybe you don't, right? It's but you're a whole lot more prone to get there if you map it out, discuss it with your spouse, and go, that's kind of where we're going. Is it, give or take some variables along the way?
Is it one of those like life by design type of deals? Where
it's Yeah.
But how many people really spend time doing that? Because when you're in the thick of it, you're just, I got to get to the next lawn. I got to get to the next lawn.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, and that will sometimes help you determine that maybe you're a really great in the moment person, and maybe you're not a visionary, and that's okay.
Right. We need everybody.
So you might want to find some help to help, especially at home. I mean, I know we're talking about business, but if home doesn't work right, like business is way harder. It's just way harder to be successful in business when home isn't going well.
Man, I'll tell you what, like people ask me all the time, like, how do you get Liz to do this? How do you get Liz to do that? How do you get Liz to I'm like, I don't get her to do anything like that. If you try to get your spouse to do something, in my opinion, horrible recipe for success. Liz is pretty low maintenance, and she's also a giving person and a let's win together person. Yeah. I don't know how to quantify that.
Conversation in family came up recently, like how do I find the spouse I'm looking for? To which the answer is, how do you become the spouse someone else is looking for?
1,000%, dude.
It'll come, but you're not going to get it trolling around out there. You're going to get it by making yourself the right person,
attractive,
and and then you will find the right mate.
That's good stuff, because there's a lot of people ask those kind of questions, and a lot of people are boyfriend, girlfriend, engaged to be married, and like, oh, he doesn't get this or she doesn't get that. I go, you guys have to have a lot of. Liz and I, our first couple weeks and months in dating, we met in September, dated from October to January, and then we were engaged in January. So there's like 5 months. And I say we did 5 years of dating in 5 months. I mean, we talked about every topic, Troy: kids, religion, money, politics. It was on the first date, by the way.
Right.
We call it the interview. Yeah, shocker, right?
Yep. Big shocking moment there, Brian.
But dude, I know, but I was 25, 26, and I just was not interested in, like, right now in a girl. And at the same point, I was like in the growth, trying to figure out life. And so when we hung out, I didn't have like an official notepad. I had my phone in my hand. I didn't have like an official notepad, but I was like, look, I'm going to scare this girl away, or she's going to bat 1,000. And it's totally a God thing, because I had not dated anybody in a long time since then, and or before that, and it was just wild. I'm like, okay, well, this is kind of creepily eerie. I'm like, would you like to go on a second date? But there's so many people. It just feels good. Go for it. Just casual. If it works out, makes sense. Go for it.
Well, think of it. Here's an analogy I used. We may have talked about this off mic, but an analogy I used, and it plays right into this, right? So, like I said, if home life isn't going well, single or married, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
If we don't have our health and our spirituality and somebody to say good job in some way, it just makes, and accountability, it just makes work harder. So I would profess that we should also seek out the same relationship with our customers. Right? So in the end, we want our spouse or partner in life to be an advocate for us. Not a customer, not a one-time transaction, right? Ultimately, at least for those who are seeking a long-term relationship, we want an advocate. Somebody, you're speaking up for Liz right now, she's speaking up for you somewhere else.
100%.
We don't have to, we just trust that that's happening.
Right.
We want the same thing from our customers. So the way to create that is the same way we create a relationship, just like you described. Not everybody fits.
Yeah, you were sharing some stories before.
This is who we are as a company. This is what we stand for. This is why we're here.
Good press.
This is what we charge, and this is why.
Right.
Because my answer is always our human talent is worth what they're worth, and that's my biggest cost. It's every one of our biggest costs in the industry. Our largest number in our P&L, likely, is our people. So if we're lowering our price, we're lowering our people cost, typically.
It's solid.
So my analogy for you, because again, I'm pre-internet guy.
Yeah.
But when you're speaking to a bunch of young property managers and you're trying to educate people up on the industry, young meaning
25.
Well, yeah, or 30 and under, where the whole world, the internet's been around their entire life.
Right.
That's fine. I said, here's, and they price this and price that, and I'm talking large commercial stuff or people reaching out all over the country. There's a lot of brokers out there. I have my pluses and minuses of that opinion.
Sure.
My opinions of that. But here's the deal. Do you want to find the next person you work with through Tinder or through meeting them somewhere else, through a long-term relationship?
Right.
When any of us are out there just hooking up with customers, they go away as fast as you find them.
It's good.
They go away as fast as you find them. So, we've all been desperate. We've all said yes. Yeah, I'll take another lawn. Yeah, I need to feed the kids. Yep, I have a room on my schedule. I'll take it. But, we should all ponder a little longer relationship with the customer, give them what they want for a long-term relationship. And in return, it's the best growth model, I think, out there. Because it's stable, meaning it's stable. It's less scary. There's less risk. You're going to get the work back next year.
Right.
When you build on that.
Right.
Or at least so much of it that you don't have to be scared.
Right.
And that's
huge.
I feel for the people who, and again, I've been there. So this isn't like Troy didn't have to do all this. I had to go through all this stuff. But when you get to a point where you've taken care of them, you're giving them what they need, you're staying in communication with them, and they're not going to run away.
Right.
Just like a date.
Just
like a date. You're not like you were worried. You sat down with Liz. Here's all my stuff. And what do you know? She stuck around.
Yeah.
That's a good chance.
Tried to scare her away.
Same with a customer a little bit.
Yeah, right.
They typically stick around a lot longer.
We had Jeff Joyner come in. He was a motivational speaker, really good guy. He came in a year ago or 2 years ago at LEL, and he talked about having raving fans. And he did this whole thing. He goes, you want customers to advocate for you and partner with you, and you exceed their expectations and they exceed yours and all this stuff. And he had this funny shtick. He said, next week, call all your customers and tell them that he said something funny like, we're having a new policy and we're canceling all of our customers, but we're keeping all of our customers that love us and we love them. Or something like that, one of those deals. And he said, we love you. Like, do you love us? And he's like, yeah, awesome. And so it was like this shtick, but he was like, and I'm butchering it, but he was like, you got to go from the upper dollar $2, thing. And he talked about your employees as well, because if another outfit around town is $2 more per hour. And like you said, a company cell phone. Well, that's one thing. And there's some conversation there, but at the same point, you have to have like the greater conversation of, building this partnership and this, where do you want to be? Do you want to be here 30 years? Because you could be. And a lot of people are looking for that, 100%.
Well, and you can evolve. I mean, in a larger company, you can have my seat or anybody's. At least I would hope other people in my seat around the country are going, yeah, if you can evolve to here, God bless you, man.
Yeah.
Take the seat, and then I'll keep going, right? Just like I replaced myself when I was on the weed whip all the time, right? I mean, you replace yourself along the way if you're a good leader. Number one job of a leader, to find and grow and train more leaders.
Right. Make disciples.
And then, amen. And just keep going. So, anyhow.
This is good. I'm sure we'll talk more about salt and snow later, but...
buy enough. Make sure you apply enough. Don't let anybody talk you into not applying products for safety. It is all about safety. We are all, and when we talk snow, we are all risk managers and risk mitigators. Not snowplow guys. And so when people can get their head wrapped around that and really focus on only doing what's right and what's safe. And if the customer doesn't want what's right and safe, be super careful. Put language in your contract that makes them responsible for everything. That's the biggest hitch in this industry and always has been.
When you did that podcast, we actually did another one here a year ago, 2 years ago. You said your line. You're like, hey, this is my shtick. This is my line. You said we don't manage snow, we manage risk. I was like, that's pretty good. I've said that 100 times since then with clients, to podcasts, to coaching calls, all this other mess. And everybody gets it. It's like the best. It just was an aha moment for me. And I had a client, customer, customer, like, hey, we don't want salt. And they just weren't going to budge. It's a church. They want it on Wednesdays and Sundays. Okay, fair. I get it. They're like, our snow bill is $11,000. Where our budget's $4,500. I'm like, well, number one, your budget sucks. I didn't go that route this time. I was like, let's be holier than thou, or not holier than thou. I said, okay, no problem, brother. And you guys know how that goes. So I said, fine. But then I got the contract back and put a whole paragraph in there saying, not responsible for this, and this. And they signed off and they're like, all right, good to go. And then other people, it was a great upsell option to just, we don't want salt. The last manager didn't want salt. I'm running the place now. Hey, the last guy, if I can just give you my honest opinion, you do all that, upsell the salt. We don't manage salt or snow. We manage risk. I said, hey, that first slip and fall, it cost you $1 million. That's on you. That's probably $1 million lawsuit and your job. You want that on your shoulders? Yeah, let's add the salt back in. right? Like all those little.
It's just not.
It's crazy.
Unfortunately, there's just a lot of people who come from. They don't have the experience. Right? I get sued. This company gets sued every year and has for decades. We've never been negligent, but it's the world we live in. And so whoever insures me knows they're going to defend stuff. There's another great question that most people don't ask that I train up. We just took on or just added a very nice medical location in Brighton that you could probably think of, right?
I know a couple.
Yeah, well, the biggest one.
Okay.
So they were changing out, but in this conversation, I rolled in after a great operations manager who runs that whole area had talked to their staff, salesperson. So I rolled in. Big surprise, I was a little bit late, but we started talking, and one of my questions is: so is your budget roughly X? Because we know a number going there, right? I mean, these aren't, you can look them up, you can measure it, use whatever your technology is you're using for that, and you can have a ballpark. You should. Because it's important to say, are you about X, in my opinion? Also, I said, so I have another question. I'm curious. Love the I'm curious line.
Yeah.
I'm curious. She said, about what? How many slip and fall lawsuits do you have or claims do you have at this site every year? Either watch the body language or the exact answer, because they all have them.
Yeah.
Well, roughly how many? 3, 4, 5 a year, especially this spot over here. Come on, that's what we're here to manage, not move snow from one side of the parking lot to the other. That just happens as part of the job.
That's good.
We're here to make sure nobody's going to slip and fall. So you cringed at my number, which means I'm likely more expensive than whoever's been failing. And now you've told me they've been failing and you get sued all the time. Maybe we have a solution, but we're going to concentrate back here. Where
hey, my name's Troy. Have a nice day.
Right? Or maybe goodbye, but that's okay, right?
Yeah.
What's the point of taking on a contract when you know it has a history of lawsuits?
Sure.
Again, medical facility, lots of profile, people going, elderly people in wheelchairs, all of the extra. Not that those people aren't everywhere, but extra stuff. Surgeries going on in there, a little surgery center. Yeah. So it couldn't be.
So when you run
but that exists everywhere, right? And not everybody will answer you.
Yeah.
But almost everybody will.
So when are we going to co-author a snow book? You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm ready.
I'm going to get my foreword by Troy Clogg.
I have my ghostwriter. He emailed me again today, every month. Are you ready?
I looked one up, dude. He wanted like 30 grand. I looked up a guy on Upwork as I write a couple books, and one guy wanted 30 grand, another guy wanted 75 grand. I go, bro, I don't know who you think I am. I'm not. I said, I talked to my boy.
You have 180,000 followers or whatever you got. That's who you are.
Well, what's 1% of that? 1,800 times $10. That's I'm still in the red.
Yeah, get them all to chip in $15. You got it covered.
Well, we're gonna break even, and I'm a for-profit guy, just so you know, Troy.
Well, but if they pay for the book, then whatever you sell it for.
You guys buy the exclusive $50 hardcover edition, and I'm trying to build a house. I'm gonna be hemorrhaging money for the next 3 years, Troy. You already know this.
You are. Your landscape's gonna kill you.
I can't wait.
Bad timing if you wanted to. Yeah, it's nutty. It's nuts out there. Whatever. I'm not a broken record, but what things cost, or what our service providers and subcontractors need for their time and their effort.
Oh yeah.
This whole cement, concrete, crazy shortage is driving me nuts on the construction side.
I'm gonna save 75 grand on my pool. You see the mod pool guys? The container ship pools?
Yeah.
They're so cool, dude. I'm sure you got opinions. don't squash my dream. But dude, I can be in and out for like, it's still like gonna be like 75 grand. But then I figured if I do that, then I can give you the other 400 million.
Think so?
The other 400 million. I got to cut back on the pool, then I can give you the rest. That's what I'm trying to do here. Because the pool is a couple, like, dude, 200-300 grand. I was like,
be careful. Well, you don't need that.
I don't need that big.
But you need probably more than 75.
Yeah, for the pool.
Yeah.
Well, not my container
less
ship
than
pool.
200 or 300.
My container
but
ship
pool needs to have the auto covers.
All of that.
If you're doing it needs to have everything.
I'm going to show you on
don't
Instagram.
Do it.
No, I'm going to show you on Instagram. This guy is pretty cool. What was his name? Whatever. We did a podcast with him a couple weeks ago. Really cool dude.
I'm sure. Let's try it.
Yeah. It'll be something different.
Let's do it.
Okay, if you guys are,
I'll try it. I'll be happy to try it.
So, guys,
I will get a huge disclaimer for anything I build around
slip and fall.
But no, let's try it.
Ice management.
Yes,
how many
all of
accidents happen here?
All of it.
We had breakfast about, I don't know, probably 3 months ago now, 2 months ago, 3 months ago. And I showed Troy a bunch of photos. I'm showing him my phone, and he's like, oh, wow. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's nice. And, oh, dude, you've never seen a more, the wind just sucked out of him. When I go, so what are you thinking, dude? Like 75, like 80, probably high end 90, maybe 100. And you go, Brian, I remember exactly, you were like, Brian, and that's how you know you're in trouble. You smack the table. Brian, most of my residential stuff's between about 200 to 400 right now. And I went, like dollars? Like, you know, and you're like, nah, not exactly. And I just I just melted. And then I go back, I go home to Liz, and I'm like, hey, you want to just buy a double wide trailer? Life would be so much easier.
It would.
She goes, yeah. But I told Liz, I said, hey.
Good enough for Kid Rock. It's good enough for you.
Yeah, I can Eminem, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. They didn't stay there. You know what I'm saying? So they.
You sure?
Nah, maybe. I don't know about Kid Rock, but
yeah,
I've seen Eminem's place.
Yeah, Tennessee. And it's trouble wide, he calls it.
Well, I don't even know what that means.
It's a double wide.
Okay.
That he gets in a lot of trouble in, I guess.
I'll do a double wide with a 300-grand patio.
Well, he's got a pretty I would believe he's got a pretty nice deck and a beautiful piece of property and some other stuff going on around there. But when it comes to the physical home, and no, I get it. Chase your dreams, build it all. I love a creative mind. I'd love to get into this container thing. Let's make it happen.
It's going to be.
I'll help.
I'm telling you, I'm going to show you mod pools. It's dope, and they got the container with the lid, the cover, and then the swim spa that's attached to it.
Yeah.
I still got to have you give me a suggestion with the hot tub on the side, because then you can use that year round.
Well.
Yeah.
Pool sound. Yeah. The connected spa is better in a different climate than ours.
Yeah.
That's all.
Okay.
It's better to have two systems because you're going to want to use the right now. My pool is closed.
Right. I can't use it.
I still want to go in a hot. I can do it. When it starts snowing, I want to go in a hot tub.
I can do it with my container pool.
Okay, let's do it.
Come on.
I'm going to figure it out. We'll be the first container pool in Brighton, Michigan. Let's make it happen.
Dude, he's selling a couple of them, but
let's go.
I need Unilock to just donate like 1 or 2 pallets of brick, and we'll look.
Well, as a Unilock dealer, I will donate 1 or 2.
Oh my gosh, you guys are like.
Or we can do the leftover project, because when you walk around the shop here, there's plenty of leftovers.
I have like 7 different pavers in my backyard.
Hey, that's how I did my driveway. It's all leftovers. Eventually, you just come up with a pattern. Close enough.
Do like a swirl or something?
Close enough. No circles.
No circles?
No, the 80s are over.
So
are the 90s. No circles.
Have you seen the large format bricks that Unilock has?
Yeah.
Well,
I do. I'm a dealer.
Yeah.
My suppliers.
I don't know, they're like 18 by 24, those large format bricks. Those are nice.
They are.
Yeah. Do you think that's going to stick around it's kind of a new trend, but I like that over the little ones.
Well, yeah. I think
I don't know if you get lost in this stuff anymore, but
I think it's like a tile pattern, right? So some people
like it or don't like it.
Right. I mean, we're sitting in a room with old brick in it. Mm-hmm. Over time, not everybody left their brick. Come the 80s, come certain time periods, people painted all their brick white.
White, yeah, they're doing it right now.
Yeah, they're doing it again. Farmhouse vibe, right?
Yep.
So brick pavers are the same thing. Small brick pavers are popular sometimes. Big again. I don't know.
Yeah.
I personally, as an ex-old architect student, I think it just, certain things go with certain patterns. So the modern farmhouse look, you could use simple clay an old school, country look, or you can throw the big Beacon Hill, the big Beacon Hill, or bigger, the big pieces all over it. High Format has a bunch of stuff. All these guys, you could throw some big slabs at it, and it would fit. Yeah. Or I've done bluestone with it. I've done some of the more modern Unilock products.
Yeah.
We've done it. I've go down my whole design phase, but it kind of matters what you want inside the house too. Preferably when you wander inside or out, it should roughly feel similar.
I got so many notes, Troy, ever since our breakfast. But it's funny though. Like we had a 3-hour breakfast, but it was like an hour of like, hey, dude, life is good, and then it was like the hour breakdown.
Yeah.
And then there's like the build you back up hour. You know how that goes.
You're doing great, Brian.
So I said, I came back to Liz. I said, we are so broke. It's not even funny. We got to freaking get this lawn care business and get these seasonal snow contracts. That's going to be my my silver bullet. But I got a whole list of stuff and product. I have so many photos. I can't wait. I'm paver patio in the back, paver walkway up front. I'm telling you, like
maybe, or I'll introduce you to some other product lines that are just as cool and might even be more affordable.
Let's do some YouTube videos and
let's do it.
We'll get those
go
YouTube
to job
videos.
sites anytime. We're doing.
You guys do some really beautiful stuff.
Exposed ag stuff on a project right now. We're doing some exposed ag with 30% brown tone and some natural stone on the steps and inlays.
I've seen some of it on Facebook.
We're doing some crazy built-in fire stuff. Like
you love your fire pits.
Oh yeah, that's the number. Yeah, come on, we're in Michigan.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Fire and lights.
Yeah,
are the two most used year-round elements in a landscape.
I'm a big lighting guy.
If you want to be outside. Yeah. So the lighting and the fire features, we love them.
I love both
because the customers love them.
We saw, I forget the name. It was like some fire concepts, like they have all the brass hoses and all that stuff in the pits. I forget the name of it, but I need to get like this mega collaboration for this backyard. That would be the idea. Like everybody come on in, we'll do a YouTube video, do some sponsored content. It'll be fun.
Well, get all the parts
you need. Hustle, man.
Get all the parts you need. I'll put it all together for you.
I'm going to get my pole barn just filled with this stuff. You bring the labor.
Just bring a pile of parts, and then we'll design some stuff around it.
There you go.
And make it work.
Okay.
The whole building you're sitting in is a pile of parts that got somewhat assembled. That's why that wall doesn't match that wall. But it's all good.
But it goes back to your 5-year plan, your 1-year plan. Like Liz and I, like we've really been putting money in the bank for this thing. Like this has been like our dream, and I'm like ready to slingshot off the edge, right? And but it's been a 5-6 year hustle. Really 8 years we've been living in apartments by design. Like we could have built a home or bought a apartment, or not an apartment, but a small home, and we've just been like chill and still put money in the bank and putting money in the bank and growing the cash flow from the businesses, right? And when we're ready, it's going to be dope. But
don't rush it.
No, we're not in any rush.
So back to a snow.
But it's going to be a fun.
What is this? What is this all inclusive or seasonal number thing you were just talking about?
Yeah, flat rate monthly pricing. I'm calling it.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's included in that flat rate monthly?
You get pricing? the plowing, the salting, the sidewalks.
Unlimited.
Up until 45 inches. Because I talked to you.
So I'm just saying. So it's not unlimited. Good. So that's you answered correctly. Yeah. It stops at some point. It's not like not the Ponderosa or the.
Don't say the other one.
Or the buffet, all you can eat.
No.
Price? No. It stops at something. 45 inches is good around here.
That's our cutoff. Yep. I've had a couple places actually quote for higher. They wanted 70 inches, which was a new one to me. I was like, but they're out of Chicago, and they're like, no, we get 70. I'm like, no, you don't.
No, you don't. but you do on the other side of the state.
Okay, but I was looking at the numbers, and so
we should probably do a podcast on. I haven't got my numbers yet, but the industry needs to know how to use snow insurance, or at least that it exists.
I want to talk
and weather derivatives, so I could babble on that for a long time.
We'll come back,
but the long and short of it is, it's a financial tool to mitigate risk. And so those who understand financial rules, it's great. You can share it with your customers. Yeah. They can buy their own if they want.
We do need to talk about that.
So
if I can pick your brain.
And I haven't had the conversation, but I trade in voicemails. Rarely can you buy a low winter and have it make sense. So that's why all of us, no matter how our contract structures are, at least in this region, we need to make sure we get enough for a low winter.
Okay, right.
Some kind of base that gets up there. High winters are easily managed and easily insured. Either you get paid over 45 inches, or this price is good for 8 pushes and 35 applications, or whatever your threshold is.
Yep.
Everybody needs to get up to a certain number, not be rolling the dice, because that's how you keep your people. That's how you pay for your equipment. That's how you make sure you're still in business.
100%.
After it either snows a lot or snows a little, you should still be in business. That's all I got to say. And you should still make money when it snows a little or when it snows a lot.
I'm stitching this together.
It's not a gamble.
No.
Business model is not a gamble.
I'm stitching this all together from like 3 or 4 different guys, and you, Corey, a couple other dudes. Corey gave me. I had a good 2-hour powwow with Corey, and because he's involved, but not as much involved with his company anymore, right? And so he's like kind of giving me the farm.
Well, in a great market they're in.
Sure.
Because you talk about risk. They can have a 4 or 5 or 6 inch winter, or a 60 inch where they could have ice storms.
This is true.
So. Same, like they have to know different.
He was giving me ranges and stuff like that, and I was like,
End of the day, no matter where you are listening to this, you have to get paid on a low winner or on a big winner, not hope or pray or gamble on one or the other.
1,000%. It's I'm feeling the best. This has been our best lawn care season we've ever had. Like straight up numbers, routes, profitability, top line number,
and some good weather for it. This is a good fall.
It's been a great. 60-70% of the leaves are down, dude.
I know, it's beautiful.
Oh my gosh, we did a cleanup the other day. $1,500, 2 guys, 2.5 day, or 2 guys for the day and myself for a half a day. $1,500. We were super easy day, super smooth, dry leaves. I was like, dude, we would not do this any other year because the leaves wouldn't even be down.
No,
it was
not this early. But you wouldn't make that much every year because you would be billing by the hour. So if they were heavy and wet and it took twice as long, you'd get $3,000 for that cleanup, not $1,500.
Naturally, Troy, of course.
It's not a fixed price because
No. I gave him a day rate when we were done at $1,500. But if it was a crappy day, there's no way. There's no way.
No,
not for
twice
3 guys.
as hard. Everybody knows. Twice as hard. It's on the equipment, on the people, on everything.
I love your dynamicism to the conversation.
Hey, man.
For real.
Lawn and snow is fun.
But everybody,
and doing good work and taking care of people and serving, it's fun for some of us. And if it's not, get the heck out of the business if you're not enjoying it.
You know, you learn, I've said this many times, you learn more like with secondhand conversations sometimes, right? Than like one-on-one, like at a seminar or something specific, like hallway conversations. I did some coaching with somebody lately.
Is that the name of my spiel at your...
No, you said you were going to talk about the why.
I can talk about anything. Should I call it hallway conversations?
Hallway conversation. Dude, I'm so glad that you still take my text message, okay? Like, you can do whatever you want to do.
Some of them.
Yeah. And after 3, I'm like, Troy. But I was talking to a coach the other day, $1,000 an hour on the phone. People are like, $249. We do coaching calls. $249 for a coaching call. 99% of people are like, awesome, cool, appreciate your time, and it's always a great call. And then other people are like, oh, you're selling your time. I'm like, oh my god. But I paid $1,000 for it. I had 7 calls in the last 8 weeks. Didn't think twice, and just ripping through. And one thing that we worked through for a lot was just mental. And he said, I understand you because you're so busy, you want to streamline things. Right. And he's like, you want to create systems. And he's like, I get that. He goes, but you got to realize like every conversation is dynamic. It's interesting. It's unique. He goes, for the client. And I was like, oh my God, I never even thought about that. Right. And so quick tip, if you guys listening in, you're like, oh, fall cleanup, this, and this, but then you don't look at the gated backyard or the access points or whatever. You guys already know what I'm saying. But every wet leaves, rainy day, dark, misty, hot, like all this stuff. It's a dynamic conversation.
Well, it is, and it's all part of a dynamic price. That's why there should only, at best, there should be ranges. Mm-hmm. I say ranges all the time. It's $250 to $350 or whatever, but it should never be a fixed price because you're just back to snow, fixing a price on something you can't control.
Excuse me.
And
exactly.
we can't control how often it snows.
Yep.
Or 2 inches when it's 29 degrees versus 2 inches when it's 5 below. All those things have variables that we can't control, just like a fall cleanup.
Or when it's 105 inches of snow, like in 13, 14.
It could happen.
That could happen.
I'm praying it does not. That was not my favorite season.
I remember the stories.
But my snow insurance paid off that year.
I heard.
And
through the grapevine.
And it was we didn't have any trouble with margins. We didn't have any trouble performing. We actually did better. And
we can come on back, do another podcast on anything that you think technical like that would help outside of,
all of that stuff. Again, all of that stuff helps.
But you don't get that. But again, like here, we got this table. It's 8 by 12, Troy. I'm a
5
pin
by
needle.
9.
Whatever.
To be exact.
5 by 9.
It is. 5 by 9.
I'm a pinprick on the top of this thing, trying to change, and just elevate and share. And a lot of other people are too. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. But like, okay, all of us combined are an eraser head. And the industry is just doing all this stuff. And I'm just like, and you're overhead, like the other end saying, stop giving it away for free. and you've been eminently successful in it. And,
well, you got to define success too, right? What I have is success in my mind.
Sure.
And in my plans and in my life, the freedom I get to do other things. I'm not afraid to work gigantically long days.
Right.
That's not success for everybody, right?
Sure.
We're back to this model of what does success
relative
mean? Is it this much money and this much time off? Is it, are the people who want to hunt all the time, does that fit into their schedule? The people who don't want to hunt, what are they doing? Whatever it is.
Yeah.
Want to have a family, don't want to have a family, hobbies.
21-year-old kids that just want a Duramax diesel, I always say.
Hey, whatever.
And they want to work 80 hours a week.
As long as we still have diesel fuel in a few months.
What's the
sounding like a shortage.
Did you see that?
I'm not.
30 days out, I think, of supply.
I don't know. I had a customer say something today. Hurry up and finish my pool before you run out of diesel, I think was his comment.
Yeah. 60% on the oil reserves and
just keep giving it away.
Giving
people.
it all to Europe, though,
No, sure. Very, very
Hey, by
generous.
the time this comes
very
out,
generous of us.
It might be before or after November 8th. So it might be actually the day before, the day after. I don't know. But
well,
no comment, brother.
I don't know.
You guys already know how that's going to go. As long as there's no cheating, we should be hopefully doing pretty well. But we'll find out.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, if nothing else, remember your vote is important.
Yes.
A lot of people over my lifetime have felt differently.
Yeah.
And not just in recent history.
Right. Even if it's at 7 o'clock at night, get out there.
We're living right. We're living in the best country there is, even though it has a bunch of problems.
Sure. People are still coming here.
Study this stuff out. Study the proposals up wherever you are. Study the stuff and make your vote count, whichever way you're going.
Amen to that. All right. Well, that's what we're butting up.
Cool.
Troy Clogg on Facebook, Troy Clogg on Instagram. You got people that manage this. I know I'm helping you out here.
Probably.
Dude, it's like such a different...
Probably. And the supply yard, the hot pink de-icer, it's that time of year. We got to get in the hot pink de-icer commercial.
Yes.
Or my love for Brian and Lawn Authority and the whole group, because he was our top... and those of you who participate, was our top sponsor.
Yeah.
At our
we were.
You were.
I didn't know that.
At our fundraiser. Well,
why? So why?
Other people spent more money in the end.
That's one other story.
Just saying, because we did track it all.
Yeah.
But no, it's super.
We
great.
showed up first, Troy.
You did.
No, I'm just kidding.
You did. No mistake. And
well, it's like, why is our banner so big? And you're like, well,
Hot Pink De-icer, my quick commercial. You can find it anywhere in the United States or Canada. And if you can't find it, hotpinkdeicer.com.
We'll get it to you.
And we'll get it to you. We'll figure out. We're shipping that stuff all over the place, or we're setting up distributors. 15 cents of every bag sold goes directly to families financially devastated during a breast cancer or cancer situation.
Right.
And then what I'm talking about is our one single fundraiser we do a year, which... the
Hot Pink Golf Outing?
The Hot Pink Helpers, which is the actual foundation. To follow the business model, the Hot Pink de-icer sells some product, but the money goes to an actual charity. Mm-hmm. Nobody gets paid. Volunteer board of directors, over 60 volunteers chip in to make that golf outing happen.
That's incredible.
We raised almost $100,000 this year, which is more than double last year.
Is that right?
And spectacular. Like you talk to people at the golf courses, because we also keep it pretty affordable for the average person. This isn't some,
elitist.
You gotta, elitist. You got to pay a whole bunch of money to be there.
Yeah. I know, because you brought me.
But sponsors, sponsors like yourself and others, just let's keep it in a range where people can make as much of a difference with their pocketbook as they want to. So
it was so much fun.
So the golf outing was a success. I wish we had today's weather.
Oh my gosh, it was 40 degrees, dude.
It was cold. And it was a month ago.
Yeah, it was cold.
It was almost snowing. It was so cold. But
it was.
Anyway, so we had the heaters out. We had the tents. We had the bourbon. We had Douglas Dynamics donating a plow.
Jeff was there.
Jeff Kopp was there. All kinds of good stuff. The Weingart's family was there.
Yeah, I saw Dan and Alex.
So many.
All the guys.
Yeah, so many. I'm going to forget to mention names, so I can't start rattling them. But it was just beautiful.
Alex and James from the Farmington store and Utica store, they come over, the store managers, and they came over. They go, I don't know you golf. I go, I don't.
You don't.
I don't golf.
You do not golf.
I don't golf. Dude, it was so bad.
You do not.
Did I tell you the story the night before we went and bought all new stuff?
Yes. Well, when I rolled up to you on the course and looked at your sticks, I'm like, did you buy those last night? And you said, yes, I did.
I go to grab the putter, and it had the wrapping on it. I took the wrapping off of everything, but I missed the putter because I didn't. I don't need to sink the putt.
You can return them after, right?
I should have.
No.
Dude, no, I'm not. No, because we're golfing people now. We're changing our identity. We're going to practice. So next year we can, I don't even know, get good. No.
It takes decades. Don't even bother.
No,
just have fun.
No, but it was funny. We were at Dick's Sporting Goods at like 7 o'clock at night. They close at 9 with the adjusted hours. And this 21-year-old kid signed us up. He's like, man, I get commission on all this stuff with the golf stuff. I'm like, I hope so. Like he walked us with our whole shopping cart to the front, and he's ringing stuff up. And I read on the thing, it's like $2,200 or whatever. And he goes, $2,200. He goes, that's not, okay. And I go, that's not bad. I go, for everything, that's not bad. He goes, no, that was just for her stuff. And I went, oh, dude, I melted, bro. And I was like, so you just hear beep, 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 beep. He's just signing stuff up. And
now you do need some lessons if you spent that much money.
Dude, we were
sticks.
like $4,300 all in for those. Dude, plus I gave.
I can help you, Brian.
Plus, I know. Listen, I'm a lost cause. Work with me. They give anybody a microphone these days. Then
Clearly,
I know. Then I gave you a chunk, and then we spent. I don't even know. We bought a bunch of raffle tickets, all this crap.
Yep.
Dude, I got. Tens of thousands, $10,000 into this thing. And our friends, Kayla and Brittany, are like, you don't even golf. I go, I know, but this is a lot of fun.
Well,
so now I'm just buying stories in life.
So now you need a job cost those clubs. See, this is back to where we started. Those clubs will turn into a cost per hour. Right now, they're very expensive per hour.
I need to get it down to like $12 for use. You know what I mean?
You need to drive it down until it's like $1.
I'm not driving.
To play golf for the cost of your clubs.
I'm definitely not driving anything if you saw my drive. Because with a driver, I hit about 31 feet.
Well...
Some technical skills.
We'll work on that another time.
See, I've got like this like idea of what I think I can do, and then there's like the reality. Like I love hardscaping. I know I'm never gonna do it. You know what I mean? I'm in love with the idea. I'm in love with golf. I'm never gonna spend the time to get good at it. But you want to go shoot though? I like shooting. I've been getting pretty good at pew pew shooting.
Okay.
Come on over. I got.
Okay, I'll go.
I'm ready to do it. Like that's more my jam.
Fair enough. Let's go.
I got to teach my daughter how to shoot too. So, but that's a whole other story. But that's what I got, brother. It's the golf outing was so much fun. And shout out to everybody who gave, because there's a lot of people that listen to the show that bought tickets for the plow raffle, because they're bugging me that night. Hey, who won? I'm like, I don't even know. But you guys announced it the next day, and it wasn't anybody I had known. That's like a follower, if you will. But if you guys are listening and you guys gave $100, whether you wanted the plow or not, like super appreciate that.
Super appreciate that.
That's super cool.
And then we then threw some bids in on the next Douglas Dynamics pusher. Just because it's supporting military, right? So we want to support that. I think we were outbid.
Wow.
But Douglas Dynamics, and again,
$100,000.
The person who bought, the person who won, literally bought one ticket. Now,
is that right?
They spent about $10,000 or more at the outing in other ways.
Oh, on the raffles.
In other ways, raffles this and blah 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 blah. Bought one ticket.
You got a free plow.
I'm like,
yeah,
well,
that works.
It works. They're in the business. So
use it or lose
there's
it.
a lot of people buying tickets who weren't in the business, right, to support.
That's cool.
And they didn't know what they were going to do with it when they got it. But
did you guys think that you would double the?
Thought we would double, but almost triple at this point, right?
Is that right?
I mean, from 30-something to just under 100. So,
wow. It's good growth.
But when you hear from the people who work there, I've worked here 27 years. We do 100 golf outings a year. Nobody does a golf outing like this.
Wow. At the course,
at the course. Yeah. So at the end, because I was the last one there.
Okay, yeah.
Right.
At 9 o'clock at night.
Almost 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it started at 6 in the morning, right?
40 degrees out.
But the joy is that, so we have, as you know, have a live band at the end, which golf outings typically don't do.
Yeah.
Most of the people who enjoyed the last couple hours of the final at the end were the volunteers and their spouses who kind of can't, finally we get to do something for us, right? We've been serving people all day.
Yeah.
The staff of the golf course, every ranger, everybody who worked on the golf course that day was partying with us with the band. It was like, that was the people.
Like family.
In my end of the day, those are my people.
Those are relationships.
Those are my people, and those are the relationships. The people who physically do the work. In this business we're sitting in, anywhere I go, there's a paving project going on in one of my jobs right now, or one of my businesses. The people who do the work are kind of always have. I don't know. That's where I belong.
Part of it.
That's where I belong. My people.
You didn't get any feedback from any of the Rangers, right? Like about anybody.
Maybe a little.
No, dude,
I keep it to myself.
I sliced a ball. I think that's what it's called. This guy, he had angels around him, Troy. Little Toro mule thing. That he's like pruning. He's just pruning like saplings down in the.
Oh yeah, I saw him down in there.
Yeah, and
that was way off the fairway. What are you doing over there?
No, dude, he was 20 feet to my solid right. Solid right. I hit this. This is my first time ever hitting the golf club, ball, whatever. Caleb Allman's like, you just do this. And I'm like, okay. I hit this thing with all my might because I don't know what I'm doing. It slices so hard right that it dings the side of the mule. Boom. Caleb looks at me and he goes, his mouth is just open. The guy pops his head up like a little groundhog, and he's like, the what the F look.
Right.
And I go, I'm just looking around like, y'all see that? Like crazy. And Caleb's like, dude, you need to say I'm sorry to that guy. And I go, hey, super sorry. I said, I don't know what I'm doing. And he just shakes it off and puts his head down. which was bizarre. I mean, this guy almost got killed, dude, for real. and then we go around like 3 more holes. You know the course. We go 3 more holes, and I swear to God, homie's coming up with a little mule driving around at the end of the fairway or whatever. He's cutting down more saplings. I'm like, now he knows that I could hit him. Now he's just looking for a check. Because there's no other reason to be within a mile of my shot. But this guy was following us for like the next three holes. I was like, there's no reason for this guy to be he's just chopping down little saplings with a little hand pruner. And we were convinced that he was just looking for a check at that point. He's looking for an easy out. And if he would have stuck around long enough, he could have got lucky.
Could have got lucky if he positioned himself right.
All right, we'll button it up. We'll talk all day. Super appreciate your time. I don't take this for granted. I'd love to come back, and anytime
It's a pleasure.
Yeah, anytime you're open to snow insurance would be a good conversation.
Snow insurance. Again, some contract structure. Although we dabbled in it, it would be great stuff to talk about.
Sure.
At your event, I guess I'll be talking about the why when you're in the hallway.
Yes. The hallway conversation.
The hallway why?
We'll live stream you from the hall.
Okay, perfect.
Hey,
I'm comfortable in the hallway.
I think your episode might come out before the event. It might come out next Monday. If you guys have not got your ticket yet, I think today when you're listening to the show, real time is the last day to get your ticket because the cutoff is at midnight. Get your ticket. Don't sleep on this because Troy's coming.
Come on out.
Mark Bradley's coming. Mark Bradley's giving about 7 or 8 different handouts from his company. All this different stuff. Like, dude, this would cost you thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars in consulting, free work. You know what I'm saying? Like to get this kind of resource. And it's $250 for a ticket now that the early bird's over. I'm like, are you kidding me? I would pay thousands to get around these people. We do all the time. And so if you guys have not got your ticket, Troy's one of the 11 people speaking.
Am I paying you $250 to talk?
I think we're paying you. Oh. No, you get a little honorarium. It's not much. It's a Chili's gift card.
Do I get a tattoo or something? Just keep adding to them.
I'll get you a sticker. It's the Launchpreneur Academy sticker.
Okay.
I got the little sticker mules, you know.
I'll
get you a sticker, a Chili's gift card, and then a sleeve of Titleist golf balls.
Nice.
It might have a hot pink thing on it, but that's a whole other story.
It's a whole other story.
I didn't hit one of your golf balls.
Don't hit those.
I bought a 50 bucket, and then later find out that's for the driving range.
Yeah.
Of course it is.
Of course it is.
You gave us like nine balls. I was like, that's not enough. And dude, it's wild.
Fun.
It's wild, man.
Fun.
Never dull moment. All right,
we'll
guys.
do the go-karts. That'll be fun.
Friday night. Bring the fam. That'll be really cool. Yeah, 4:30 to 8:30 Friday night at Full Throttle Adrenaline Park. So yeah, good looking out. All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna button up right here before I put my foot in my mouth and overextend my visit here with Troy. But thanks again.
My pleasure.
All right, cool.
Seriously. And at the end of the day, hopefully somebody picked up something. More than your stories about your life and my stories about mine. Hopefully somebody picked up some good business tips and
amen.
And apply themselves or reach out to you, reach out to me.
Yeah, always here to help.
Always here to help.
I love it.
Cool.
All right, brother. That's it.
Man.
Over now, guys. Thanks again for listening, and I look forward to catching up with you guys here on the next one.
When your fall leaf cleanups are stacking up like the leaves and time is of the essence, there is no better solution than to sleigh through the leaf cleanups at warp speed with Billy Goat's flagship leaf loader, the all-new DL3700 VETR Leaf Dragon, and the Z3000 zero-turn Hurricane stand-on blower. The combination of these two all-powerful leaf-decimating machines will burn through large-scale leaf cleanups fast, helping to save valuable time and money during the season. The Leaf Dragon features 6,900 CFM of high-volume leaf suction, while the Hurricane Blower has 7,500 CFM of air volume and travels at a ground speed of 9 miles per hour. This pairing is the perfect setup for high-volume leaf cleanup that will exceed your expectations in productivity and result in a more profitable season than ever before experienced. Visit your local Billy Goat dealer or learn more at billygoat.com.
Ready to charge up your business and take it to the next level? Well, plug in and join us for Launchpreneur Academy Live 2022. Don't miss this electrifying opportunity to hear from our top industry professionals. Get powered up in this high-energy atmosphere, learning trade industry knowledge and ways to level up your thinking. This high-energy teaching and networking event is full of motivational information, giveaways, and trade industry secrets. Take charge and register now for the industry's largest training event of the year, L'Entrepreneur Academy Live 2022.
All around, it's just a great experience.
I didn't realize how important that LAL is.
You get more than you spend at for a 4-year degree.
Man, I can't wait. This has been a great event, and I will definitely be back next year.
Take charge and register now.
L'Entrepreneur Academy Live is Saturday, November 12th in Novi, Michigan.
And we're going to get a little bit more detail. I want to help you guys grow larger companies, more crews, more profitable businesses, a little bit more X's and O's.
And the link to register is in the podcast description.
Thanks for taking the time to listen to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast with Brian Fullerton. We hope you enjoyed this production. If so, please consider leaving us a 5-star review for the show. While the techniques and ideas presented here are designed to help you grow a more successful and profitable business, no one can guarantee these results for you. We want to emphasize that entrepreneurship is not easy, and the ideas presented here are just the opinions of Brian Fullerton and his respective guests. No one can guarantee success for you. That being said, we hope the ideas presented here help you and motivate you to go on out there and crush it with your own business.
Fullerton Unfiltered Podcast.
Thanks for listening, and we hope to see you on the next episode.
This has been a Brian Fullerton and Mr. Producer production.